If you feel like every fight you take is against some kid who edits twice as fast as you, hits every shot, and just makes you feel slow, I get it. I've been there. But here's the thing most people don't realize. You don't need insane mechanics to win a lot of your fights. You just need to understand how fights actually work. In this video, I'm going to break down how to win way more fights, even if you're not the most mechanical player in the lobby. So with that out the way, drop a like and subscribe, and let's hop into the first section of this video. Section 1. Stop taking fair fights. If you're not the most mechanical player in the lobby, you absolutely cannot keep taking neutral fights and expecting different results. A neutral fight is basically both players full health, similar materials, same awareness, and both ready to swing. That type of fight almost always favors the player who is faster, smoother, and more confident mechanically. If that's not you, then you're walking into a disadvantage on purpose. You need to stop thinking of fights as something you instantly start and instead start thinking of them as something you prepare. Your goal isn't to run at someone the second you see them. Your goal is to create an edge before the real close range engagements even happens. That could mean tagging them from a distance first, holding a smart off angle while they rotate, waiting until they finish another fight and they are weak, or forcing them to waste materials before you ever fully commit. Small disadvantages matter more than most players even realize. Even 30 or 40 extra damage shifts the pressure onto them. It changes how confident they feel, how aggressively they edit, and how quickly they panic. Stack multiple small advantages and suddenly you don't need insane mechanics because the fight is already tilted in your favor. You also need to use time as a weapon. If someone doesn't see you yet, that's your moment to line up a better angle. If two players are fighting, that's your moment to observe shield cracks and enter at the smartest possible time. You don't have to be first, you just have to be calculated. So stop ego challenging players just because they look confident. Instead of matching their speed, slow the situation down and force them to fight on terms that aren't comfortable for them. When you consistently refuse fair fights and instead manufacture unfair ones, you'll start winning engagements that used to feel impossible. And once you see how powerful that is, you realize the next layer that makes everything easier is positioning. Section 2. Positioning is literally free skill. Positioning is the skill that quietly carries players who aren't mechanically elite. It reduces how much execution you actually need in a fight and turns average aim into consistent damage. High ground is the obvious example, but positioning goes way deeper than just cranking to height. It's about angles, layering, timing, and understanding the space in the game. Fighting from right-hand peaks instantly gives you a natural advantage because you expose less of your character while forcing your opponent to expose more. That means your shots don't need to be perfect. You simply have more visible surface area to hit them than they do on you. Layer controls works the same way. If someone is clearly faster mechanically and starts cranking up, you don't need to chase them into a speed contest. You can sit one layer below, pressure smartly, and force them to edit downward into you. That shifts the pressure back onto them. Rotating early so that you can hold players from edge zone instead of being the one rotating late changes the entire dynamic of a match. When you're the one pre-aiming and set up first, you don't need flashy edits because the fight comes to you. So good positioning also means always having an exit plan. Before you fully commit to any fight, you should know where you can reset if things go wrong. Is there natural cover nearby? Can you box two tiles back and heal? Can you drop a layer and disengage? Having that safety net keeps you calm, and calm players make way smarter decisions. When you consistently fight from stronger spots, you'll notice that even mechanically gifted players struggle to force clean engagements against you because you're not giving them angles or the timing they want. And when you combine strong positioning with the unfair fight mindset, you're already ahead, but you still need to make sure you're not letting fights become comfortable for your opponent. Before we move on, quick reminder, if you actually want to practice this in real competitive environments, join my 2 Discord servers. The Scrim server is going to be running consistent scrims, cash prize events, and stacked lobbies so you guys can test this under real pressure, not just in random games. And the Improvement Discord is built for helping you guys level up faster with feedback, reviews, and other players grinding to improve. If you're serious about winning more fights, you need to surround yourself with people pushing in the same direction. And if this is helping you rethink how you approach fights, make sure you like and subscribe right now before we get into the next section, because this is where most players completely lose control of fights they should be winning easily. Section 3. Make fights uncomfortable. Mechanical players thrive when fights are clean, predictable, and rhythmic. They're comfortable when everything flows in a structured box fight where speed and timing decide the outcome of that fight. If you give them the exact scenario, you're stepping directly into their strength. So instead of trying to match their pace, you need to disrupt it. Make fights more awkward. Change elevations unexpectedly. Reset builds more often than they expect. Delay edits instead of instantly swinging. Take a wall and back up instead of jumping in immediately. When someone can't predict what you're going to do next, they hesitate, and hesitation slows speed. Even a half of a second of uncertainty can completely change the outcome of any fight. You can create discomfort in subtle ways by varying your edit patterns, by not repeating the same reactions every time you take damage, and by refusing to chase blindly when someone tries to bait you upward. Stretch fights longer instead of forcing quicker finishes. The longer an engagement lasts, the more likely mistakes happen. Many mechanical players rely on momentum and confidence. If you break that momentum, they start overthinking. Unpredictability doesn't require insane mechanics. It requires awareness and discipline. So avoid autopilot reactions and consciously mix up your decisions. When fights feel messy but controlled from your side, raw speed matters less and awareness matters more. And that naturally transitions into something even more important than chaos or structure: controlling the pace entirely. Section 4. Control the pace. Tempo decides more fights than people realize. If your opponent controls how fast everything happens, you're constantly reacting. If you can control it, they are the ones that are adjusting. When you're not highly mechanical, slowing the fight down becomes one of your biggest advantages. That doesn't mean playing scared. It means playing deliberate. When someone pushes you aggressively, you don't have to instantly match their speed. You can box up, reset, reposition a tile over, or heal if possible. Interrupt their momentum and make them prove they can maintain pressure without overextending. Slowing fights down gives your brain time to process information. Your crosshair placement improves because you're thinking instead of panicking. Your edits feel smoother because you're not rushed. Even average aim becomes more consistent when you're calm. At the same time, there are moments when you should speed the fight up, but only when you've created the advantage first. If someone is clearly weak, low on materials, or trapped in a bad layer, that's when you accelerate. You choose when things become chaotic. You never let emotion decide the tempo. If you get cracked, don't instantly force a risky play to even things out. Reset and regain control. Emotional reactions are what mechanically superior players punish most. Think of pace like breathing: controlled, intentional, adaptable. When you master tempo, fights feel less overwhelming because you're dictating when pressure rises and falls. And once you can consistently control how engagements unfold, everything ties back into the most important factor of all. Section 5. Drop the ego and play to win. The biggest thing separating players who win consistently from players who stay stuck isn't mechanics, it's their ego. If you feel like you have to prove something in every fight, you're going to take unnecessary risks and force situations that don't benefit you at all. Winning more fights isn't about looking flashy. It's about stacking small, intelligent decisions over and over and over again. If someone is clearly better mechanically, that doesn't mean you're worse overall. It means your path to victory looks different than other fights would. Instead of trying to match speed, you lean into awareness and patience. Instead of ego pushing, you build advantages first. Sometimes the smartest decision is disengaging and refighting from a stronger angle. Sometimes it's letting a fight go entirely. That's not weakness, that's maturity in your gameplay. When you drop ego, you become more patient. When you're patient, you make better reads. When you make better reads, you win more fights. And the craziest part is that once you start winning through smart decision making, your mechanics naturally improve anyway, because confidence removes hesitation. Calmness sharpens aim, structure makes edits cleaner. You don't need to be the fastest player in the lobby to dominate your games. You need to be the most disciplined, the most aware, and the most controlled. Stack unfair fights, prioritize positioning, disrupt comfort, control tempo, and drop ego consistently. And you'll start beating players who look mechanically better than you. Not because you suddenly became cracked overnight, but because you became smarter in every single engagement you take. If this helped you, actually drop a like and subscribe, because I'm going to keep breaking the game down in ways that actually make sense instead of just telling you to get better mechanics. Also, go play my Fortnite mechanics map. It's to help you get better at the game and work on your actual mechanics. Code is on the screen and in the description. And if you're going to buy anything in the Fortnite item shop, use code FLOWN. It genuinely helps support everything we're building, from the Scrim server with cash prizes to the improvement Discord helping you level up. Once again, thank you guys for taking time out of your day to watch my video, and I will see you guys in the next one. I love you all. Peace, guys.